Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and do another PS3 game, in which this time around we're going to be playing Jeopardy. Let's see how we do. All right.
This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1, Player 2, Player 3, and now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories. Divide and conquer. Back in the 1990s.
Awesome decade.
Edgar Allan Poe. Word Up. MapQuest. And country cookbooks. Player 1, make a selection. When the UK's 99-year lease on this crown colony ended, China retook control on July 1st, 1997. Yes, Player 1? Correct. On August 10th, 1993, she was sworn in as the 107th Supreme Court Justice. Player 1? No. Any other takers? We're talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Please. Answer. It's the Daily Double. Player 1, your answer. Partying like it was February of 1999, Hugo Chavez became president of this country. The lead is also yours. Player 1. On January 1st, 1993, two new European nations were formed from the split of this suddenly ex-country. Yes, Player 1? You are correct. Player 1. On October 26, 1994, a peace treaty was signed between Israel and this country led by King Hussein I. Player 1? Right. Player 1, choose again. Fit for a King is full of his favorite recipes, including the chicken served at his wedding to Priscilla. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's correct. Player 1. The Little House cookbook features frontier foods from this woman's classic stories. Okay, Player 1. That is correct. This daughter of Maybelle Carter honored her mom by writing Mother Maybelle's Cookbook. Let's hear it, Player 1. Right you are. Player
You'll
one.
find Goober's banana pudding in this Mayberry Auntie's book of delightful desserts.
It's player one. That's correct. Please.
There's a recipe for butcher holler possum in Your Cooking It Country by this country music queen.
Okay, player one. Yes. Select again.
It's 27 divided by 3.
Yes, player one.
Correct. 121 divided by 11 equals this.
Let's hear it, player one. That's correct.
Negative 72 divided by negative 9 equals this.
Yes, player one.
Correct. You get 252 divided by 4 equals this.
Yes, player one.
Yes. You 1252 divided by 4 equals this.
Let's hear it, player one.
Good for you.
Player one.
According to an 1833 description, Poe dressed entirely in this color.
Okay, player one.
Right. Poe's wife, who passed away at age 24, had this name, like the state at whose university Edgar studied.
Let's hear it, player one.
You got it. The first obituary of Poe, which spoke of the frailties of genius, appeared in this city's Sun newspaper.
Okay, player one.
Correct.
Select.
In 1842, Poe reviewed this British author's Barnaby Rudge, which features, a human-like raven.
Player one.
Yes.
Player one.
Poe won an 1833 short story contest with a story about one of these found in a bottle.
Player one.
No.
Any other takers? Okay, player three.
You are correct.
Where do we begin, player three?
Change your attitude, or rather one letter in attitude, to get this word meaning height.
Okay, player one.
That's it.
Player
It's
one.
what we call a word that has the same meaning as another word.
Okay, player one.
Good for you. This word can mean a hole or any hollow place, especially in a tooth.
Let's hear it, player one.
That is correct. It's one of the bones of the forearm, or a line from the center of a circle to the circumference.
It's player one.
Correct. From the Latin for kidnapper, it means to take someone else's ideas or writings and pass them off as your own.
It's player one.
Right.
Player
To
one.
visit Sensoji Temple in this capital, cross Komagata Bridge, turn right, and walk north on the Nakamise Dori.
Let's hear it, player one.
That's right. Way to go.
Player
The drive
one.
from Denmark to Malmö in this country includes a 5-mile stretch across the Øresund Bridge.
Let's hear it, player one.
Right.
Player
From
one.
Paris's Royal Saint-Honoré Hotel, walk a half-mile down Rue Saint-Honoré
turn right, and walk into its glass pyramid. Yes, player one? You are correct. To visit San Marino, take a winding road up Mount Titano, a short drive from Rimini in this country. It's player one. Yes. Here's the $1,000 clue for you. From Ulaanbaatar, go straight south to Wuhai, flip a left, and go about 500 miles to reach this world capital. Okay, player one. Right. Player two will select first in Double Jeopardy right after this. Clues are worth $400 to $2,000 in these categories. The 1930s. Opera names. When they were in high school. Biology. Rivers. And, oh yes. Player two, you start. Candido Rondon found the River of Doubt, now the Rio Roosevelt, which flows in this country's Amazonas state. Let's hear it, player one. Correct. Our British River, on which Oxford's great rival university is located. It's player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Player two. No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Let's hear it, player three. That's right, way to go. Player three, start us. GE acknowledges that in the 20th century, it dumped PCBs into this river around Troy. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. Player it's one? Fed by the Hasbani River in Lebanon and by the Banias in Syria. It's player one. That's correct. Its upper part runs clear. It clouds up near Great Falls, Montana, and gets muddier from there. Yes, player one? Good for you. Please pick again, player one. In humans, this sex chromosome is present only in males. It's player one. Hey, you're right. Player gustatory receptors are special cells that give you your sense of this. Let's hear it, player one. No. Any other takers? Okay, player two. Right, you're out of the hole. Where do we begin, player two? It's the third largest Hawaiian isle. It's player one. Right. Where? Sarah?
Two atoms of this element create a stable bond. When three of them bond, they form the unstable ozone molecule.
Let's hear it, player one. Good for you. So it's the O in an IPO, a corporation's first attempt to sell stock to the public. Let's hear it, player one. That's right, way to go. To use the razor named for this 14th century English philosopher means to use economy in explanation. It's player one. Nope. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the correct response. Occam. A total solar eclipse is an example of this, from the Latin for conceal. Yes, player one? Correct. You again, player one. In plants, they're reproductive structures. In humans, light-sensitive structures along with the rods. Player one? That's correct. The hypothalamus at the base of the brain controls the release of hormones by this master gland. Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. Player one. Answer. The first of the two daily doubles. And you have the lead. What'll it be? And the clue. One of the subdivisions of biology is this science, dealing with the naming and classification of organisms. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. Player one, you pick again, please. W.H. Auden wrote of this Civil War-torn country, "History to the defeated may say alas, but cannot help nor pardon." Okay, player one. You got it. So, as the Depression hit Europe, this figure in Belgium went from 5.4% in 1930 to 23.5% in 1932. Okay, player one. Yeah, good. Player Melvin Purvis gained fame, more than Hoover liked, as head of the FBI's office in this city. Player one. Good. In August of 1939, Germany signed a non-aggression pact with this nation. It's player one. Correct. In 1932, he said Huey Long and Douglas MacArthur were the two most dangerous men in the country. Player one. That's right. Way to go. Select. The title figure of this Puccini opera is Cho-Cho-san. Player one. Yes. This title temptress of an 1875 opera works in a cigarette factory. Okay, player one. Good for you. Answer, the second daily double. You are currently in the lead. Player one, please select your wager. The clue. Amneris, daughter of Pharaoh, has an Ethiopian slave girl. Her. That puts you even further ahead. Player one. Gilda, the daughter of this hunchback, falls in love with the licentious Duke of Mantua, with dire consequences. Okay, player one. Any other takers? Player two. That's correct. A lot of clues, a lot of categories. Player two. Make us a Tannhäuser and Lohengrin are knights. This title character of another Wagner opera is a pure fool. It's player one. Good. Player one. He ran track at Skyline High in Oakland. Good practice for the role of Forrest Gump. Player one. That is correct. Player one. As a teen in British Columbia, she said her goal was to be a California beach bum. She got her wish on Baywatch. It's player one. Right. To make extra money, she sometimes cleaned out the tour bus for her mom Naomi and sister Winona. Player 1, you are correct. As a high school basketball star in Irvington, New Jersey, this royal rapper led her team to 2 state championships. Let's hear it, Player 1. Hey, you're right. Now let's take a look at that $2,000 clue, shall we? He played quarterback for the Terrell High School Tigers before he won an Oscar for playing Ray Charles. Player 1? Right you are. Congratulations to all of you. You'll be continuing on to Final Jeopardy when we come back. This is the Final Jeopardy category for today. Economics. You need to select your wager. Here's your Final Jeopardy clue. In 2007, this 18th century professor and writer became the first Scotsman to appear on an English banknote. What did you say? And this correct response will add how much to your score?
See you all for another game.
What did you say? And that will lose you. Let's see your response. And this correct response will add how much to your score? This makes you our new champion, Player 1, so congratulations. We'll see you next time.